not in this world to live up to your expectation. Neither are you in to live up to mine. I don't owe no one, no obligation. No one owes me none, so everything is fine, fine. I say I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. Serious business. There is a time for everything, and for everything there is a season. So man and man.
Yes, yeah, you know, sometimes you're making a look already. Nice. Good night, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Spot On. My name's Sheldon Scott. I'm here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. It's now 2 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock on this. You know, I say Spot On. When I get accustomed to something here, it's talking points. Yeah, even giving wrong program name tonight. You can see that I'm tired today, huh?
Refrain, you know, refrain.
Yeah, so it is Talking Points. I'm here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour.
Is that you wanna say? Cause it's something.
The most fed program in the spice aisle at this time.
So we voted for the bling, but you trick us with campaign promises.
What afraid the program so far? Yeah? Still attempting to get rid of our program, you know?
Straight, but you now refrain.
So it's still a little thing on the live, you know, trying to get rid of the live, trying to put in all kind of comments in the live. Go on, Papa, fight up.
Answering yellow, yellow, no hello. Teeth get yellow, house gets yellow.
Let me say a special good night to all the listeners wherever you are.
So says 11.
Let me make sure I send out my messages, eh?
Been promised.
So let me take that song from the top. We're going to take that song from the top, and then we're going to come back again. Nice. We're going to take it from the top.
This is not politics. Please don't forget. I'm just practicing to be a poet. Not qualified as yet, but have no fear. I'm gonna get there. I'm not in this world to live up to your expectation. Neither are you in to live up to mine. I don't owe no one, no obligation. No one owes me none, so everything is fine, fine. I say I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. Serious business. There is a time for everything, and for everything.
Yeah, a lot of people been saying they really like that song, you know, they've been asking for it, all kind of thing, yeah?
So, I think it's prime time that we address some more issues. Simple information I will use. No rocket science.
And as usual, we've got quite a bit to talk about tonight. So remember to tell your friends, tell your family, Talking Points is on. Yes, I am in studio and I am live.
That's the way it is.
A new rule, we're leaving the phone lines open, 440-7377. 34, let me just make sure, yeah, there's always mess up on that one. Yeah, 347-329-3101, the overseas line.
Is that you wanna say? Cause you sound
So we're having it open from earlier, so you can call in at any point in time.
thinking, so we voted for the bling. But you trick us with campaign promises.
Folks, just a reminder, on Thursday, not Tuesday, no, Thursday, yeah, as in the day after tomorrow, you will be having the presentation by Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, former Prime Minister, Leader of the Opposition, as he gives his response to Budget 2023. So that's going to be taking place this Thursday from 9 a.m. You can tune in to Talking Points. You can tune in to our our website. You could tune in to our Facebook page. You could tune in to our YouTube page. You could tune in to all of them. And you will be able to hear Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell. You also can tune in to any of the New National Party pages. So the NNP Grenada page, Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique, the Carriacou, Petit Martinique and Grenada page. You can tune in to all of the constituency pages. And so we're going to make sure that we spread it right around so that you will be able to listen and follow what we have to say. Yeah? So you're going to be hearing Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell. He's going to be on Thursday, all right, from 9 a.m. Remember, 9 a.m. class is in session, right? The student has presented their homework. Now, the professor is going to correct that homework. He's going to grade it. So class is in session on Thursday morning. All students report for duty. All right? Nice.
Economic recession, no employment for the ordinary man. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain. You now refrain. All your projects are stuck in a pipeline. But when asked, how is the country going? Oh, fine. We are looking into it. Never.
And some of you need to behave, man. I've been seeing all the comments on social media and so on. And as I said last night, and I'll say again, it is quite obvious from some of the comments that you're seeing being made that there are many people who have never listened to a budget presentation before. That's clearly obvious. Because to be making some of the statements that they are making, it means that either A, they have never listened to budget presentations before, B, they may have listened to some budget presentations, but maybe they just listened to one or two pieces or just the bit that's interesting to them, or C, that these people have listened before, know what they're talking about, and willfully trying to mislead you. Yeah? So I'm looking at the comments on social media, on Facebook, and I'm also looking at on different forums and so on. And I'm seeing some of the statements that the people are making out there. And it seems as though, and we have to end this thing now. If you don't nip it in the bud, you're going to have a problem in this country when it comes to giving your opinion. It seems as though, as long as you are a supporter of the New National Party, it seems as though as long as you were previously employed by the New National Party, it seems as though as you are any way associated with the New National Party, that your constitutional right to speak seems to have been taken away June this year. Because as soon as you give your opinion in relation to something, as soon as you say how you feel about something, even people who are not supporters of the New National Party, who have never been known to support any political party, once you say anything and you give a view that is different to those sycophants within the National Democratic Congress right now, those people who come on the internet and attack people, well, you have it coming. And here's the thing, because I've seen it, when I'm doing the program, I don't see the negative messages. I see the positive messages only. Yeah. My moderators are very good at what they do. All right, so a lot of leaders get blamed, you get banned and shame, you understand? We just put your picture up. So come and say a nastiness there and we put in your picture up and we delete what you say, but we go embarrass you. You understand? So that is what they have been doing. Now you can come and you can say whatever you want about me. You can attack me. You can attack various members of the New National Party team. That's one thing. But one thing that you cannot do is say that anything that we have been saying here is a lie. They cannot counteract anything that we have been saying on this program. Whether it's myself when I'm speaking, whether it's one of you when you call in, or whether it's one of you when you're commenting, be it on YouTube or be it on Facebook. When you're commenting, you realize that they start the personal attacks. And when they start personal attacks, it just means one thing. They dunce. Because they cannot discuss the issue at hand. The issue at hand are the estimates for revenue and expenditure for the year 2023. That's what we're discussing. One or two other issues, but mainly the estimates for revenue and expenditure for the year 2023. That's what we're discussing. We're not discussing Sheldon. We're not discussing whether it's Mr. Watts or Gemma or Wilma. I'm seeing all you all there. Anne, Hillary, Stephanie, all of you I'm seeing there on the talking baby daddy. Antonio, you're in early, brother. Yeah, Unison, Kathina, Godfrey, Clive, Christine, Matthew. Well, Matthew, make sure he's the first man in tonight. All right, I'm seeing all of you over there on the YouTube. And the many of you who are already under the live. So I'm seeing Olive and Ingrid, Denise, Maria. Denise, a special good night to you. Yeah, I'm seeing all of you under the live there. Now, if you realize how these individuals, these people who calling people dunce, these people who, when you're speaking, when you're giving them the talking points, when you've heard the talking points here, and you know it's good tobacco, well pressed, just roll it into a cigar and light up. All right? When you give them the talking points, all of a sudden, they have the worst things to say, not about what was said, but about you. It means that they dance. It means that they lack the intellectual capacity to have a discussion in relation to the issue at hand. And therefore, they share their stupidity by attacking the individual or individuals who are speaking. Yeah? It's a classic tactic of dunce people. Yeah? So don't be afraid of them. Let them display their stupidity. All right? So you don't have to be afraid of them. When they jump under the live, I realize I does not say nothing. No. Because from the time they come under that live, before the moderator get them, yeah, you all just deal with them. Know when you're coming here, be respectful. Right? So I doesn't even matter talk to them. I know all you just deal with them one time. Nice? And then I know that when we discuss something here, when we discuss issues, that they go back and they discuss the issues after, the shame. Because they ain't getting it on certain other programs and so all they're getting is yap. But here they get facts, figures, they get information. So we welcome them. Come, learn. Come, listen. Come, interact with us. We're not saying go. We're not the kind of people that go say stupid thing like throw pee on people and thing. We're not into that. Come, learn, interact. We are all Grenadians and we all have opinions. I may not agree with your opinion, but I believe in your constitutional right to hold that opinion. So even if your opinion on an issue is different to mine, I have no problem with you as an individual for holding that opinion. That is your constitutional right. That is your God-given right to hold whatever opinion you want to have. It may, in my view, be a bad opinion. It may be a good opinion. It might be a so-so. But at the end of the day, your opinion is yours. And you have a right to express that opinion. All right? Without the personal attacks and that sort of thing. I just thought it important that we lay the groundwork tonight because we have a lot to talk about tonight. All right? And before we get into the estimates of revenue and expenditure tonight, it's already nearly 8:15 already. I want us to remember something. Back in 2013, the new National Party, in coming into office, made sure that we passed the Integrity in Public Life Act. There are various aspects to the Integrity in Public Life Act. Now, what the Integrity in Public Life Act does is that it ensures that the people who are serving you, right? The people that are serving you, they are to, at their earliest convenience, when requested by the Integrity Commission, to present their documentation in relation to their standing financially, etc. So these individuals, in case you don't know, this isn't law. This is not something that the Integrity Commission just asks you to do. And if you feel like doing it, you go and do it. This is something that you have to do. Under law, there are penalties if you lie when you're doing it. There's a similar law in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Basdeo Pandey found himself in jail because he did not give accounting of an account that his wife had. The wife had a bank account in England, and in filling out his documentation, they didn't give the relevant authorities the information about that bank account in England that had a significant amount of money in it, but they had nearly forgotten it. Maybe they had so much money they forget their account. I don't know if people that have money and forget it in their account. But anyhow, so he found himself in legal trouble. Meanwhile, here in Grenada, when the time came, after we passed the law, that law was sitting there for the entire term of the last NDC administration. They did not ask the legal drafters to bring it forward and pass that through Parliament. Loan authorization, all kind of thing. But they did not ask for that law to come. The new National Party had to come back in office, take it up, dust it off, refine it, and put the Integrity in Public Life Act in place. No, I'm saying this to the people that like to call all kind of people corrupt and different things, right? So let's just get to the bottom of that. Now, after that law was passed, the first person to declare their assets was Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell. And he declared it publicly as well. So he came to you, the Grenadian people. He said, I've declared my assets. I have nothing to hide. I've got $19 million. That is how much money I have. I declare it to you, the Grenadian people, publicly. The only other person that I know, well, I had nothing, so I just declared me had nothing. I didn't have nothing. Still do have nothing, right? Yeah, so I just declared that I didn't have nothing. The other person that declared their wealth or lack thereof publicly, if I remember correctly, was Ray Roberts. I think he said somewhere around 50 or 70. I remember him saying it in Parliament too. He said it to the media and he said it in Parliament too. Ray Roberts, right? He said he had somewhere between $50,000 and $70,000 in the bank that he had saved up or something like that. That's what Brother Ray said at the point in time. So our leader of the new National Party and Prime Minister at the time ensured that he declared publicly because he had nothing to hide. Lo and behold, we're now in 2022. And the NDC that has come in, who have told you that they are saints, they are nothing to hide, they're so decent, and they have so much integrity. These individuals, out of the whole bunch of them, there's over 15, 16 when you add up the 9, and then they have another 6 so, and thing, yeah. So those people, only 3 have come forward. 3, the Prime Minister, I think it's Mr. Dennis Cornwall, and Mr. Joseph Andal. Those 3 have, after being contacted by the Integrity Commission, and the Integrity Commission contacted all of them, but only 3 came and brought in their documents. None of the 3 declared to you how much money they have. What they hiding? You ain't had to hide. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell, you afraid to tell the Grenadian people if you're a multi-millionaire? You're afraid to say if you have, okay, maybe you don't have 19. Maybe you have $90 million. Maybe you have 30. Maybe it's only 5 million you have, or you have 1 million. But I think that under the Integrity in Public Life Act, they would not release your information. But you, since you want to prove that you're to the level of Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, announce how much money you have. And the other members of your team could feel free to do the same thing since they consider themselves to be better than everybody else. But the thing that is most worrying here is that individuals, and we're speaking here of the following MPs. You're speaking here of the Honorable Philip Telesford, right? You're speaking of the Honorable Karine James, the Honorable Ron Redhead, the Honorable Tevin Andrews, the Honorable, the 2 from St. Patrick did theirs. Who else? The Honorable Andy Williams. Yeah? None of these people have brought in their information. None of these people have brought in their information yet. They've asked for an extension. You had 6 months to put that information together. In fact, I believe that the law needs to be changed. I believe that part of the process for being given the opportunity to run for election should be that you publicly declare your assets. Or at least you declare your assets in a way that Grenadians have access to know. So that if 6 months after you come in as an MP and everybody No, you're a guy that have to go and borrow a little 2,000 here and borrow a little 3,000 there. If after 3 and 4 months we realize that you're driving a $200,000 vehicle and you have property left, right, and center that you didn't have before, then we know something up. So I believe personally that we need to revisit that law, and that even before, because after they've gotten into office is one thing to ask them to come and bring the documentation in. I believe that even before, when you apply or when you go and you do your nomination and so on, that at the same time you should be declaring your assets at the same time. Let us know what you have. Because it can be, and I'm not making an allegation here, I'm just saying that that could be a possibility, that people didn't have assets before and they now get. It could be that some people are afraid to say what their assets are, because remember, you have to say what your liabilities are. In other words, if you owe the credit union, you have to say. If you owe the bank, you have to say. If you owe fast cash, you have to say how much and how much you're paying on a monthly basis. What's the other one? Axel Finance. Wherever it is that you owe, you have to say that you owe and how much you owe. Maybe there are MPs that owe significant amounts of money through business dealings and so on that they're afraid to say, and that's why they ask for a 2-week extension before they bring their documents into the Integrity Commission. But note, and let me warn them, yeah, because the senators haven't done it either, none of them, yeah, Senator Claudette Joseph, Senator Dave Andrew, they haven't done it. Senator from St. David, their persuader, Adrian Thomas, he has not done it. Senator from St. Mark, what is his name? Senator Britton, he has not done it either. Yeah? So none of the senators have done it as well. Right? I am absolutely sure when the time comes and the new National Party team, if so required, are asked to bring their documentation in, the day that they're supposed to bring it in, they go bring it in. Because they didn't ask for no 2-week extension before, and they don't have to ask for no 2-week extension now. Because we understand the importance of ensuring that you continue with integrity in public life. So again, I'll make the call on the Prime Minister. The challenge is there to you. Yeah? Dr. Mitchell publicly declared his assets. Were you afraid? Declare yours too. Yeah? Show us that you is man. You ain't not afraid to declare what your assets are. Were you afraid people beg you are? Declare your assets. All right? Nice. But that's very worrying, eh? You have 6 months just to fill out some documents. I did it. It took me what? Probably about a week to make sure that I had everything, because you had to make sure if you left out any bank account or so you had, that was illegal. You could get in problems for that. You had to declare your bank accounts. You had to declare how much money in those bank accounts, and if you had a loan, how much you've paid off, how much you're owing still, that sort of thing. You had to declare if you have a vehicle, or vehicles, you have to declare them. You give the VIN number, etc. You declare all of that. If you have like high-priced jewelry and so, $1,000 jewelry, all that, you have to declare that. If you have a safe at home and you have cash inside that, whether local or foreign currency, you have to declare that as well. If you have, your wife has any of the things that I just mentioned, your wife or your husband, you have to declare that as well. Any children that you had under the age of 18, whether they're living with you or not, any children you had under the age of 18, you also had to declare their assets as well. So you had to declare all the little saving unions. You know, children had the little saving union in the school, and so you had to go and get the saving union information and the number for the saving union, and you had to go and declare if they have money in the saving union too and how much money they have. And if you set up a little savings for them, like in Grenville Credit Union or Ariza Credit Union, they get free advertisement tonight. Grenville Credit Union or Ariza Credit Union, like they have the children's account where you could go and open an account and put some money for your children. But I have too much free advertising. I'll have to pay for that. But anyhow, yeah, you had to declare that as well once the child was under the age of 18. And if you did not do that, and the Integrity Commission received a report and they investigate and find out that you made a false declaration, or you did not declare all you're supposed to declare, up to the hill you might end up having to go. So all you who ain't declare all your assets yet, make sure all you take all your time, because you ain't some kind of things around ting in relation to that. All you, some people, they have indebtedness and that kind of thing. Yeah, I in debt, everybody in debt. You understand? That is how the thing goes. It's 2022 going into 2023. People take loans, you take a loan, you do this, you take a loan, you do that, you fix up and thing, you pay back your thing. Right, nice. Right? So, but we hearing that there are some people who have to apply for loan here and apply for loan there and all kind of thing. Yes, make sure all your declaration proper, because the Integrity Commission might just receive a report saying that a false declaration has been filed, and they are duty bound under the legislation to investigate said accusation. Right. Just making sure all you know, because next thing all you say, all you didn't know. In case you all want to, I could always forward you all, but it's online as well, a copy of the Integrity in Public Life Act, so that you could read and peruse and understand. Nice.
As yet, but have no fear. I'm gonna get there.
All these months and you all still can't. You didn't know you had to do a document. They didn't tell you that at the first cabinet sitting that is one of the things you all had to organize. Yeah.
Either are you in to leave up to mine? I don't own no.
Janet, Betty, and Wallan. Yes. Good night to all of you. Let me see who is over on the other side here. Yeah. Anybody I missed, I'm so sorry. But let me say something special. I want to say a special good night to a very special lady tonight. Let me say a very special good night to Miss Camille Teresa Scott, and a very happy birthday. May you live to see many more. All right? Happy birthday to you, Miss Camille. Nice. Kelvin, good night, brother.
Serious.
So, folks, remember, school is in session. Put on your uniform. We're heading down on Thursday. We're going to the Parliament building. Those of you that cannot go to the Parliament building, that may be unable to make it down there to hear the presentation of Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell and the new National Party team, because over Thursday and Friday, you'll be hearing from the various members of the NNP team. They'll be speaking on what they have achieved between last budget and this budget, what they achieved in the ministries up to June of this year. And they'll also be giving some insight into different aspects of the budget, because, they was put most of the plans you're hearing right now. The same people that sitting on the other side are the ones that put those plans in place. The mere fact that you can have a budget that has a issue in relation to financing, that you have to be looking for loans up to the figure, I think it's about a little over $300 million that they have to take loans for in order to fund that budget. If that is the case, if that is indeed the case, because I know previously the new National Party had components there where you could have borrowed 100 million and so, but they're speaking now about $300 to $350 million that they would have to borrow. The mere fact that you're able and you have the ability to borrow means that your credit standing is well, means that the new National Party properly managed the economy of Grenada for the past few years. And as such, you have the ability now to apply for loans, low interest loans, at not only the commercial banks and so here in Grenada, but regionally, so that they can apply now for the loans. It means that the NNP was managing the economy properly.
We didn't know, we never know yellow would have treated us so. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease, that's the way it is.
Sensei, good night to you. Kathy, good night to you. Michelle, good night to you there.
Refrain, you not refrain.
Amisha, I didn't find a message from you yet. Are you listening? Yeah, Amisha, yeah. Okay, nice. Okay, yes.
Past administration, the cause of frustration. Past administration, chief of corruption. Then to economic recession.
All right, Cynthia, you're in from Baltimore.
Economic recession.
And you let us know what it's like in Baltimore. Remember, folks, you've got to subscribe. Subscribe to the page. Don't just leave the page like that. Let me get the subscribers up to 1,000 before the end of the year. All right? So not only should you subscribe and share the program, you should also encourage your friends, your family, your co-workers to subscribe to the page. This is the program that they're afraid of. This is your program. This is the program where you, it's not just me talking, you get the opportunity to speak on the issue. So when I start hearing from the people in the health sector saying, we're real glad to see those nurses get that $500. But you know what? We're wondering what is there for us. They say when they hear that announced, the ears prick up and they start to listen. The maids, the orderlies, yeah, even the tea servers, the clerical staff working at the general hospital, the people in the pharmaceutical division, all of them ears perk up. Down to the drivers and all, the ears perk up because they hear 500 for the nurses. So they say, well, something good coming we direction too. They still waiting to hear. Not $5, not even $50. Instead, they now have to pay more in NIS. They now have to pay more in water because there was no environmental levy on water. Now there is and has been introduced an environmental levy on water. And we've seen the reintroduction of the environmental levy on electricity. And so you're going to have to pay more for your water. And some people already catching in to pay for water as it is because their disposable income has been constricted due to the higher costs of living. So when you think of 8 months, 9 months ago, and what a $400 could have gotten for you when you walk into a supermarket or a shop, and then you look now, you understand why it's a bunch of oil and condoms that they zero rate in VAT because anyhow. Can't say that on air. Mr. Watts, I can't say that.
In the Bible, God had a plan for Jonah to restore Nineveh. But who will restore Grenada? Is it the same Jonah?
Yeah, and Antonio, you have a point there. Probably that's why they're not having any press conferences. That we have what was a Barbie doll for and like a dolly, because a dolly is an inanimate object that doesn't really do anything unless you juke them to do something. Yeah, so that's probably why we have a Barbie doll for our press secretary right now, because you're not even having press conferences. So no member of the media would have the opportunity to ask the Prime Minister. Prime Minister, will Dr. Mitchell announce? You announce sooner? Look at a minister and say, well, Dr. Mitchell, you're calling Dr. Mitchell all kind of names and saying he corrupt and all kind of thing. But at least he tell us how much he have, how much you have. And then PIs ask them, anytime they tell you Dr. Mitchell corrupt, tell them we know how much money he have, how much your leader have. Ask them that. Yeah? And we still await because we're still trying to find out. I mean, I've been looking at the budget document, and I'm not speaking here to the speech that was delivered yesterday or when. I'm not speaking about that speech. I am speaking here to the actual estimates of revenue and expenditure. And I'm looking through that, and I still cannot find the salary of the press secretary. This person is being highly paid to perform specific duties, and we the Grenadian people are not. In fact, no post-cabinet on a Tuesday, no government minister appearing on GBN on a Wednesdays. That ain't happening. Yeah? So they're not interacting unless it's a photo up. So you come, you take a big check, and you come in and hand that over, and you ain't open yourself to no sustained questioning by the media. And then you try to restrict the media in relation to the questions and telling the media only 2 questions they're allowed to ask. Where you feel is Donald Trump in the United States? Is Trump who used to do that? And you could have tell them that. Yeah, the Donald, he could have tell them straight. He say, hey, yeah, you, right, 2 questions, done with that. You, 2 questions, right, done with that. Right? This is Grenada. Yeah? And the worst part of this is that the media association sit down there. Well, hear what? They're giving the media association, the various members, and now all they could go and all they could get all the equipment. Yeah? Concessionary. Because that is the attempt by the NDC to buy the media. And I'm saying it loud. What you see taking place there has nothing to do with the creative industry. They want to buy all the photographers that have in Grenada. So when they come to them and they say they want a job done, if the job was $4,000, They will say, remember, we did help you get the equipment. And then the photographer might say $2,000 instead. Yeah? That when they have the people that produce the ads and the animation and all that sort of thing, that they will be within the NDC camp. And who is the person you see talking on this? A non-cabinet member. Even when the question is asked at the town hall, you realize it's Mr. Romain that's answering the questions, because it seems as though he's just a footstep away from actually joining the set. Well, best you put out Quincy and put him in. Because he seems to be the person, the chief cook and bottle washer right now. So whether it's the creative industry you're talking about or tourism or so on, it seems that though he's the chief cook or bottle washer. Because when you're hearing the questions and so on, and you have to basically slight a minister, tell him, no, chill. You answer for him. Call him from the audience. Answer. The man go outside, you still call him back inside to come and answer a question again. In relation to that. When the minister is supposed to be in charge of that, don't even know. Then you come and lie for the Grenadian people. Lie. Right? For the Grenadian people. By telling them that the new National Party never spent any money in the creative industry. It's not the Simoon Cultural Center that's being built, that has been started for tens of millions of dollars. I can't remember the exact figure off the top of my head. Is that not part of the creative industry? The subventions that were paid to mass bands and continue to be paid to mass bands on a yearly basis by the government of Grenada through the Spice Mass Corporation. The funding that's provided to the Spice Mass Corporation, the funding that's provided and assistance, assistance that's provided to the steel bands, that's provided to the mass bands to give them training in things like wire bending and so on, to the Judges Association to provide training, the funding that's given to the Grenada Cultural Foundation, all of that is under the creative industry. Who does fund Carnival? Is the government of Grenada does fund Carnival? And Carnival is part of the creative industry. Over the years, you've had the Arts Festival. It sort of died out now. But you've had the Arts Festival and so on. Because some of these people probably never partake in the Arts Festival. I still have my certificates. I partake in the Arts Festival from since the 1990s. I was participating in Arts Festival here in Grenada. Yeah? Whether it's creative poetry or calypso or you name it. I used to do all kind of madness. Comedy, all kind of thing. So, you cannot say, truthfully, that $0 was spent on the creative industry, Mr. Prime Minister, Minister of Finance. That is a lie. Yeah? And we have to call it out for the lie that it is. Because if you go up to Simoon, you realize that they're building the Simoon Cultural Complex. Cultural Complex. And that is going to be a home for the arts and the creative arts. That was started and is being built under the new National Party administration. It is up to this administration to complete it, but it started under the new National Party administration. So to come and say now that no money was spent on the creative industry, that is a lie. Call it for what it is. But I know they ain't gonna like to hear us say that, because the only thing, and I've been listening to some of the radio programs this morning and yesterday and so, and the only thing that they keep jumping up on is the $500 for the nurses. That wasn't the promise to the nurses. The promise to the nurses was permanent employment so that they wouldn't leave the island. You give yourself $2,000, $24,000 additional a year. You give the nurses $6,000 and you're beating your chest. Oh, we so love the nurse. Why you didn't give them the $2,000 and take $5,000 for yourself? That'd be easier on the coffers of Grenada. Yeah? You could have said, well, okay, we taking $500 additional and we giving the nurses $2,000. And then you have the policemen and women out there who right now beating dew outside all over this country, who if rain falling and something happen and they receive a call, have to go out in that rain, no matter the weather. They have to go out. If it was snowing in Grenada, they had to go out in snow too. If it was snowing or blowing, I remember that one. If it was snowing or blowing, they had to go out in that too. Whatever the weather. And not a cent for them. And you could run and say that you're going and do it now, you know. But the estimates for revenue and expenditure are already out. And when I look under it, I don't see an increase for police officers. So the Coast Guard officers who are out on the water right now making sure people safe or rescuing people or patrolling, to ensure that drugs and guns and so don't enter our country. The appreciation to them is not being shown. So you're not seeing any addition to them. The ones who are working in the fire department or who are working in immigration or drug squad or wherever they're working, they are not getting that additional something. But you're beating your chest. You're beating your chest about the 500, and I said again, because I don't want them to go out there and say that AVEX nurses get $500. Nobody is more happy than me in this country that nurses get a 500. As I said, they should have get a 2,000. Instead of the people that walk in and didn't even spend 3 months. Some of them didn't even know the color. If they step outside and you ask them the color of the carpet in the office, they couldn't tell you. First, they didn't even spend time there yet. But they take $2,000 additional a month, $24,000 a year additional they take for themselves. But they're jumping up about 500 that they give nurses. Yeah? Nurses take it, and when the time comes, still vote them out. Because you have seen the difference. You didn't see the new National Party run and take no $24,000 additional a year for themselves. But these people make sure they do it. And now they're trying to placate you. The promise to you, nurses, was permanent employment. The promise to you was improvement in relation to working conditions. Those were the promises that were made to you. They are recorded. The video, the audio, the text, they all exist with these promises that were made to you, the nurses. So now they try to buy you off with a 5. Don't sell yourself cheaply. They take $2,000 for themselves. They make sure they could find it and they make sure they could continue to pay. They didn't take it as a one-off. They take it and they continue to take it. Meanwhile, the people who serve in food, the people who have to clean people in the general hospital, the orderlies and maids and so on, who have to actually do the cleaning of people and so in the hospital. The nurses do more of the medical things, the checking of the blood pressure, and they do the checks and so on, and administer the medication and those kind of things. That the nurses do more of that, monitoring and so. And they do an excellent job at it. Yeah? In everything, you always have one or two that does give problems because people have had their experiences. But by and large, we have excellent nurses here in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Right? But then you have the orderlies that actually do the cleaning up, the bathing of people. When you can't use the toilet naturally, you have to use the Pampers and so on. And you have these people that are doing all of that work, dealing with these people. And you and I, if unfortunately we end up in that state, and these people, you ain't even give them a $50 and say, well, thanks. You give everybody else, you say you care so much, you ain't give them a $50 and say thanks? I mean, come on, man. That
And a few disgruntled grim people with their vexed face. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is.
I'm very interested in knowing as well if the union had any part of that discussion. Because I do not think it is proper for the employer to go directly to the employees without incorporating the union in such discussions and so on. So union, I don't know if you're involved in it and so on. I know you're glad they get it, the same as me, everybody glad they get it. But were you involved, just for the record's sake? I want to know if the unions were involved in the whole discussion.
When they send SSU to between trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain.
Annette Mitchell says, and it's them that brought contract on nurses in 1995.
Just that one. Remember the man say he's an arson.
Devon, good night, bro.
Vote you without him. You left him with Glenn alone. Maybe they cloned. And
now, SOS, where's Glenn Noel? I find I hearing Glenn. I don't see Papa Glenn. I don't hear in Glenn. Where Glenn?
Guys, we'll have to come real good. Cause
really and truly and seriously, where Glenn?
The thing politician would trick us with campaign promises. We won't stay at ease. That's the way it is.
Glenn, oh, where you there? Glenn, oh, where you there?
You remember in the Bible, God had a plan for Jonah to restore Nineveh? But who will restore Grenada? Is it the same Jonah? Lots of doubt, so I'm running up my mouth. And I'm coming to know.
Someone is telling me he's in Cuba.
Sometimes for me.
I'm interested in knowing who our new diplomatic staff are in several places, whether it's Cuba or China or to CARICOM and that sort of thing. I'm very, really interested in knowing who are our new ambassadors, yeah?
That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain. So the people say, next election, not me, stain that finger. Cause after we say enough from Jonah, here comes still with more pressure and hunger. And from the mouth of Grenada, only one.
And folks, remember, they're going to fund this budget because, as I said, sometimes, I said it last week to you, sometimes it's not what's said as much as what is not said. Yeah? So you heard them say that they're going to deal with the budget by they're going to take loans and so to finance a component of it. So you will hear them having a loan authorization bill in place. That's common practice. That's nothing new. As I said, I know many of them, they have never listened to a budget presentation before. This is their first time. Yet they are newbies in this thing. So to hear the loan authorization bill that would be coming along with the budget is common practice. You bring the loan authorization. So you give the government the ability to borrow up to a certain amount, only up to a certain amount, to help finance the budget. So if you don't have, if you say you're having a budget of 1.6 billion, but you don't have $1.6 billion in cash, you're hoping, because a budget is a lot of hope. A budget is not that we have it and we do it. A budget is a lot of hope. That's why at the end of the fiscal year, you check what your implementation rate is. And even considering COVID and all that happened last year and year before, the New National Party's implementation rate was just above 85%, right? Because there are countries that would help you and they would say, well, we're helping you by funding, by providing grant support. Now, grant is not money after payback. That's money that they give you. And you would see that in 2020 and 2021, many of those countries and organizations could not fulfill their promises, not only to Grenada, but to countries throughout the region and so on in relation to grant funding. Simply because they lost money. Yeah? When you look at what happened in Grenada in the year 2020, you've heard them speaking about, the educational sector. Now, note, SGU, simple as you see it down there, SGU brings in a large chunk of the money into Grenadian coffers, right? And we always have to be thankful to Sir Eric Matthew Gary for ensuring that the SGU came here to Grenada and didn't decide, well, we're going to St. Lucia or we're going to St. Kitts or somewhere else, but that they came here, right? I think the last figure I saw was somewhere around 22% of GDP or something like that is what the SGU contributes to the Grenadian economy, the educational sector, right? Because remember, outside of the money that SGU pays themselves, you also have the situation where the students, and I think it's a little over 4,000 of them, they buy goods here. So they buy fruits and vegetables, right? They purchase goods. They go in the bars and so on and they drink. They purchase vehicles or they rent vehicles and so, and therefore they also buy gasoline and so. So they contribute significantly to the Grenadian economy. And also, the big one here is that they rent a lot from Grenadians. In fact, it's gotten to the stage right now, and I think Dr. Kellen Bob did a program on that on Sunday. And one of the things that you've seen, especially to the south of the island, is the increase in the price of rental properties and so. I was listening to the budget, I didn't really hear anything addressing that particular issue because now you find a person gets, not necessarily a young person, even a middle-aged person or elderly or so on, they're looking for a place to rent. And when they go down to the south of the island, you're hearing prices in US. So you see a place for 700, you say, well, okay, that's nice. And then you realize it's 700 US. A lot of these places are quoted in US. And we're not hearing much about that. I've been looking, especially over the past few months. It usually comes across my timeline. And I'm seeing a lot of instances where you're seeing places and you're thinking, well, yeah, that one good, that one nice, that kind of thing. Not I ain't looking for place, but it comes across the timeline. And then you realize, no, this place is quoted in US. And that's because the students at SGU, they are now pricing out, and many other people that are coming to Grenada are now pricing out locals, especially in the south of the island, because you have the beaches down there, you have the supermarkets, you have the nightlife, you have the bars, you have all of that, and you have the university. So a lot of locals are being priced out of the market. The prices, because if a person is renting a place and they could rent it for you for $700 as a local, or they could rent it for $700 US for a foreigner, and they could make back the money that they probably used to build it in no time flat, they're going to rent for the other person. In fact, some of them, even when the students go back, they leave the place empty. They say they're not renting for a local. They're waiting until these students come back to rent again for them. And here's what happened during COVID. All these people left. All the students there, you remember the planes, they line up on the airport, all kind of thing, past the monument, down the stretch, planes coming in one after the other. And so they left. So it affected your economy in the year 2020. And I'm saying all of this to say that when you hear the nonsense being spoken by Senator the Honorable Claudette Joseph about, oh, the NNP has a bad implementation rate, and so, hold on. Mother Pig says, grow your nose growing too. Yeah? Hold on. Because implementation is what is going to be the proof of the pudding of this budget. So a lot of things sound nice. You hear a lot of nice things in it, that we're going to do this and we're going to do that and so on. But you have to look at the implications further down the road. Yeah? So it sounds nice to say, well, okay, we're going to now impose VAT on sugar. I don't think there's any other regional country that has a VAT on sugar. You already have problems getting sugar into the country right now. I think some businesses have proposed and they get a little contract to bring in sugar. It's supposed to be brought in through the marketing board, but you have that sort of thing taking place, right? As I said last night, I'm very interested in knowing who the business is that will be bringing in sugar from now on into Grenada, who get the permission. I'm very interested in knowing whom those businesses belong to and the association of those persons who own those businesses. Because the price of sugar, as we see, is going up, which means the price of a lot of other things are going to go up. And let me clarify this too. Increasing the price of sugar is not going to stop people from using sugar. Proper educational programs geared towards the general public, starting at the preschool level even, is what is going to help eliminate some of the non-communicable diseases you're hearing about, like diabetes and so on. That's what's going to help. Increasing the price of sugar just means that the poor man that buy the sugar, not necessarily to go and overuse it, but to just make a little tea for the children or make a little juice for them to go to school, or so to just put in the lime juice to give it a little flavor for them to go to school. And so it means that it is more difficult on that person. They have to extend more to buy that, right? So it's not going to help. What it's going to do, and I'll admit this part of it, is that the taxes will now provide additional money, because every household in Grenada has sugar in it. Even if people are diabetic, they still have sugar inside the house. Every household in Grenada has sugar in it. So try to figure in your mind how much millions, because the government is giving with the right hand and taking it back with the left. So there is no way that they're going to have a budget that they're just going to give you A and they give you B and they give you this and they give you that, and they're not taking it back with the other hand. So they're giving you the right hand and they're taking it back with the left hand, right? So every household in Grenada is affected by this. It sounds simple. And some people jumping up and, yeah, long they should get rid of that and so on. Yes, that's one thing. But there are people that are involved. How do you interact now with the people that are working with at the Grenada breweries? This affects them. The people at the Grenada bottling factory, Coca-Cola, and so this affects them. Forget the big businesses. What about the small people now who make the confectionery, the tambran ball and the fudge and the sugar cake and that sort of thing? This affects them. This affects their bottom line as well. So there is a broad cross-section of people that are affected by this move, right? But the government aims to get a lot of money out of that. And there's a part of the budget, again, if you happen to get your eyes, you can't get your hands on it because they ain't print no hard copy, of the budget document, check 6.3, and you realize that there is the section that they didn't want us talking about last night. So they start to get on. The moment we start to expose that, they start to get on. Disposal of assets as a mean of funding the budget. Disposal of assets. What assets do we have for them to dispose of again? So it's either Cameron Park to sell, right? It's either that to sell Cameron Park, that to sell one of the ports, probably the airport or the seaport. They could get a 500 million to 600 million for the Maurice Bishop International Airport, or maybe a port authority. They could privatize it and sell it to a company and then collect a wash of money, and then you collect some money and leasing it for a period of time or whatever. So they have those options. But we know that the most likely one they're going to sell is Grenlec. We know that. So when you see, as I said, sometimes it's not what's said. It's not what is not said. So they just gloss over it. They said it in between, like under the breath, disposal of assets. But when you read the document and you see that, you have to start wondering now, what are the assets that they're going to dispose of? What are the assets that we, the Grenadian people, presently have that we're going to lose? I would say that if you're going to dispose of Grenlec, I would say that one of the best things was to offer the majority of shares to the Grenadian public. I might want to get some shares. Yeah. Even if I had to go and take a loan to buy some of the shares, I want to buy some shares. Right? You might want to buy some shares too. Even if you're not in Grenada right now, you're sending down the money, you want to buy some shares. So that all of us have a share in Grenlec. All of us have a share in it. Right? All of us are contributing. But no. It seems as though buyers already line up for Grenlec even before election. So it seems as though people already lined up to purchase. So they fit it in there. So they can't say, you can't say that they didn't say. They just didn't say what asset. So they say disposal of assets. It can't be the vehicles that government have. You ain't getting much money for them thing. Seriously. Them beat up. How much miles on them all kind of, they ain't getting much money for that. How much money will make out of that? You can't fund a budget to that. You have gravel and concrete that they accuse the New National Party of selling. You have the Grenada Postal Corporation that they accuse the New National Party of selling. I mean, today is the 6th day of the 12th month. They could come out and tell you if the New National Party had indeed sold those. But they have said clearly that to fund their budget, that disposal of assets is an important part of it. And raiding the consolidated fund. Right? So you should ask them, and that's why they wouldn't face the media. That's why the press secretary is afraid. They're afraid to have press conferences. It seems as though the next press conference you might see is in the year 2023. They're afraid to face the media. Yeah? Because they're afraid questions like that might come up. Folks, we just have about 2 minutes to the hour of 9 o'clock. Yeah, time flying. Boy. What?
So cherish
440-7377. If you want to call in, call.
not even things created by
347-329-3101 if you're in New York or so.
yellow vibes to flow.
Let me say a special good night to you, Kathy and Zingo, Mr. Adrian Watts out there, Matthew out there. Let me say a special good night to all of you out there in NYC. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Let me say a special good night to two friends of mine that are here in Grenada right now, Darren and Sue. I hope that you all are having a wonderful Grenadian night tonight, yeah?
Blame game, giving NNP.
Yeah, no Arizona nights, yeah, it is Grenadian night.
The cause of frustration, past administration, chief of corruption. Then to economic recession, we can't give you a...
Remember, sometimes it's not what's said, it's what is not said. There's a document called the Medium-Term Macroeconomic Plan. Within there's a lot of stuff that you didn't hear in that budget statement that was made there. You know?
We won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in.
And if we are going to make sure we go into those documents and so on, and we're going to make sure and explain to you, I'm going to make sure that I get experts on this program to explain different aspects of it. You have already spoken to them. They're already going through the documents and so on. We will have them on this program to explain a lot of stuff to you that you might not have known otherwise.
They start. Please answer.
So all you, if all you're trying to get rid of the program, you better get rid of it between today and tomorrow. Eh?
Although things are turning at a very slow pace, we now run the race. 5 years is a lot.
9 o'clock on the Spice Aisle. And folks, remember, on Thursday, I keep reminding you, all right? I'm reminding you, on Thursday, right? Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell will be giving his response to the budget. You hear mine last night and you hear in another part of it tonight. As I said, I don't really want to go into discussing youth yet. And I could discuss youth and I could do a 2 hours just talking about youth. And we could go back to the National Youth Policy at the year 2003 and what was contained inside there. And we could speak about all these things in the National Youth Policy for the year from the year 2003 that was updated during the period of the NNP. And now you have the National Youth Policy 2015 to 2020 and how the present administration is just ignoring what's in this document and has not made an attempt to upgrade this document yet. They're speaking about sports policy, but they haven't looked at. I'm sure that the present minister never read this and don't even know this exists. I'm telling you. I'm pretty sure you don't even know.
Will we vote you without him? You left him with Glenn alone. Maybe they cloned. And however, I foresee a pretensive unity that will mislead a lot just before the next ballot.
All right, the phone line is fixed now. So the caller who was just calling, you can call back.
Long time, Grenada, I need some food.
Gonna have to relocate the call button and the phone and so because with how the mic is, it gives me a little problem with seeing it too.
That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain.
And we have a call online. Good night. Hi, good night. How are you? Yes, go right. We're speaking budget. If it's not on budget, we ain't speaking it. So we're speaking budget. Go right ahead. We sticking to the issue. If it's not budget, we ain't talking it. Go right ahead.
Oh, the budget?
Yes.
Well, that budget, a lot of things going on there, you know, boy.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see how is there and novels, boy, and novels.
Mm-hmm.
Lord.
But here's what. You're an elderly person. I thought I'd hear a little extra for all you.
Huh?
I thought would I hear a little extra for the elderly under the budget and so. I mean, you all work, you all contribute, you all have done what is necessary to build Grenada. I thought that the Prime Minister and government that love you all so much would have a little something extra. Because, and here's what, some people go say, well, the NNP didn't do it. The NNP didn't take $24,000 additional for themselves on a yearly basis. So if they could take for themselves, they could have give you all the elderly a little something extra. Even if they say they put a little 50 so you could buy a tank of gas on a monthly basis.
Well, I couldn't get gas. I asked them because it's the government that used to give me gas and pay for me water. Not them, you know. Before I nearly didn't have nothing to cook, you know. I come on the air with Shaggy and I cry. Is Miss William hear me? And the Honorable Dr. Kit, my big brother, give me to go and pay the water out from me, you know. Yes. But I cry when I see the money, when I see the gas finishing. And they don't giving me gas. They don't giving me water.
Well, you're a Grenadian citizen, and as such, you have to be treated equally to everybody else. Yes. Your political party that you support, you belong to, you have spoken on behalf of, has nothing to do with the benefits that you should derive from the state. And if it can be proven that you are being victimized in any way, then we will take it further. So me and you going to have a further conversation later. All right, my dear?
Yeah, they victimized me in 20 when they coming in 208 somewhere down the road.
All right, so we're going to have a further conversation on that one. You enjoy the rest of your night, my dear.
Yes.
All right, beautiful. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get on the inside. And 347-329-3101. You can also call there. Yeah, and as I'm playing that Dominican elections, I think that the ruling party has only lost 2 seats, and those are 2 seats that they generally does never win anyway. So they've won all the other seats but 2. I think it's Salisbury and Marigot. I think they've lost those 2 seats. And they've lost those 2 seats to people who ran independently. But those seats have always been seats that anti-DLP. So it's, yeah. So, I mean, Roosevelt Skerrit has won his 6th consecutive term. I cannot remember any political party in the region that can say they've done the same. I don't even think the PNM has done that in Trinidad, you know. I don't think the PNM has won as much as 6 in a row. But Roosevelt Skerrit has done it, even though the circumstances that he called the election under. And we have to discuss that one night too. Because what you don't want, NNPites, is you don't want yourself to be caught in a similar situation to the opposition over there. So it is important that you continue to ensure that your party structures are strong. The New National Party is an institution, not just a political party. Yeah? The NDC came out of the bowels of the New National Party. Yeah? Any of the political parties you hear existing right now have some sort of branch out from the New National Party. So it is important that you maintain your constituency structure, your polling division structures. Yeah? It's important that you continue your recruiting, continue your canvassing, continue to do the work of the New National Party out there. Don't wait until when you think an election is going to come. Don't think that you have 2 years. Don't think that you have 3 years. Next thing you only have months. You never know. Because if 1 or 2 people start to give the present prime minister some problem, you never know what he might do. Right? Rather than just fire and so on, he might decide that he's going back for the thing. And you have to ensure that you are always ready. What the Boy Scouts say? Be prepared. Nice. Yeah. So always make sure that as a political organization, we are always prepared.
What they do is wrong, and it's weighing their conscience down, because all men know that no man knows the hour.
I think Ralph Gonzalez is on 5 right now. I don't think he's on 6. I think he's on 5. I'm seeing Carl is saying that Ralph Gonzalez. No, I think he's on 5.
A man afraid to see of what oppresses him, explain himself to a man just like him.
And we have a caller online. Good night.
Hey, good night, Sheldon. How you doing?
Hey, I'm quite fine. Go right ahead. You're a bit lower, but go right ahead.
Yeah, well, I kind of in a little word. I don't feel so, you know.
Okay, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I've been listening to the budget, and I had to call you because you, man, I know you was in the thing already, so you know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not too impressed because let me tell you, in my view, what the committee presented yesterday was an NDC manifesto. Just like how they're doing their things, all the meetings they're having is what I call NDC pocket meetings. That's the reason why I am telling our NNP people, be prepared, mobilize your village groups, let we act together, because what these guys doing, they are creating, in my view, what I would call a cult, and I continue saying it. That group is a cult. I watched some viewers, some comments of people saying they didn't listen to the budget. I hear one say she stay home and she cook, she almost she bought all kind of nonsense because we did the budget. If you never listened to a budget before, how can you say this one is the best one? If you don't know, if you don't understand what is the dynamics of a budget,
Mm-hmm.
we need to stop this idolizing people thing, and let's be fair. There are things in the budget which I appreciate, I understand.
Of
And there are
course.
things that we have to question.
Mm-hmm.
When you have people telling people, do not listen to Dr. Mitchell Thursday, the man has a right to rebut. He's a member of parliament on the opposing side. He's the leader of the opposition party. So he has to give his rebuttal. Right? And he was there for the longest. NDC had how many prime ministers? There were 3 prime ministers. You understand? They all presented budgets.
This is their 4th prime minister, actually, if I remember correctly.
You understand? So NDC was there. I'm listening to the and the thing about it, they're talking about Dr. Mitchell asking for the hard copy of the budget presentation, the document, and they're laughing. So if Karen go right now, if Karen going right now, which one of us here, if we study a budget document on the soft copy, which one of us will get a chance to do? If can go right now, ID online. None. Neither one of us. Prime Minister, Minister, government ministers, none. You need hard copies for these little things in them. You understand? So what the Prime Minister is doing, it is the norm. They laugh at the man. They make a joke about what? Oh, the IT ministry is for only fixing computers. My God. Come on, Deacon, come on. Stop being so arrogant and understand. You're the Prime Minister for Grenada, Carriacou, and Pitty-Martin. Not Pitty-Martin, Carriacou, and Grenada. Of Grenada. And if you want to have people listen to you, you have to show the quorum. I saw when Dr. Mitchell stand up to speak. They can't walk out. The pay walk out. You know, and these are the little things people don't understand. There are the quorum in the Parliament House, in the upper house, and the lower house. And if people believe they're going in and saying Dr. Mitchell was too long and too old and he's this and he's that, they need to get with the plan. And I'm saying once again, who never watch a budget and don't understand what is a budget? Especially when we have an opposition, when we had one in 2008 to 13, and you see what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys was proven they was inadequate. This thing about pie in the sky and pie in the plate, it is becoming a reality, and Deacon is putting a dark smoke that he cannot handle. I'm telling the people, let me stay together and let me mobilize yourself and be ready, because I tell you, we're in for a long ride with these guys, and if they last for 4 years, the next 4 years, good luck with them, but let's be ready.
All right, my brother.
Yeah.
You enjoy your night. Thank you. Yes, indeed, folks. 440-7377. That's the number you can call to get on to the inside of tonight's program. And 347-329-3101 if you are outside of Grenada. And you see, just the caller just echoed something that I was saying just when he was calling there. That is important to keep your groups together, to ensure that your constituency branch, that your polling division organization is together, that you do every now and again your training with your various category of election day workers and so on. We have a call online. Good night.
Hey, good night, Brother Sheldon.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm okay, man.
All right, you go right ahead, man.
Yeah, Brother Sheldon.
Before you go further, you have to say good night and happy birthday to Cami.
Yes, I heard you mention it. Happy birthday, Kami.
All right, go right ahead then.
Yeah. Ask him the question. After your promise, the workers to make them permanent, can you say that them having them on they cannot go in the bank and get a loan? Okay? So now, why you cannot fulfill that promise? So you're bribing people with giving them extra money on the salary. But by giving them extra money on the salary, are they qualified to go in the bank? Is the same procedure? They still cannot go in the bank because you promised them to make them permanent. Now you give them $500 more on the money. But right? Yes, I'm glad they get it. But then they still remain in the same condition that they are in right now. Mm-hmm. Before they get the $500, because they couldn't get it because they're on contract. They're still on contract. They still were not able to go in the bank to get a loan. They have to be permanent. I'm very sure I get something else about the stimulus package.
Mm-hmm.
The stimulus package, it was 3 phases. 2 was given out, and the last phase was given out under this government.
Mm-hmm.
So when you hear the government talking about somebody talking about they had the money, they didn't give out the money. The one they give out is the last phase. They give out. So you know, sometimes them people know the truth, but they're just trying to mislead people. And I still ask myself the question: if they still campaigning, you campaign over your election and you all win, so it's time for you all to govern. Govern. And but again the pension.
Mm-hmm.
The last pension, the retroactive thing that given out, right? To those the workers who deserve it. It was 2,725, not 525. 525.
People?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's 500 and something people, yeah.
But then when you add those who get pension already and what get right now, is coming to 2,725. So somebody was paying pension before, and we know who it is. Right? We know who it is.
All right.
Right?
Okay, my brother.
Sheldon, I want to say to the Grenadian people, those things, a budget is sometimes you speak about the plan. When you like you plan to build a house, you have a good idea, but then you have to have the money. And when I check the biggest the budget of all budget was under the federal government, which was the Minister of Finance was Nazimbo. And that was the widest gap of money they were missing to finance the budget. And what they did? A lot of things was they sell till they even end up selling things that belongs to the government. So, when people talk about this thing, that's something nice. Yes, something nice. But then, it's having the money to do it. They're having the money to do it. And when I listen to the Prime Minister again, you say talk about mismanagement. Well, how a government could mismanage the country, still the country? But yet you come in and say you find $600 and something million in the treasury.
Well, let me just clarify, friend, because I didn't hear him call a figure. I don't know if you heard him call a figure of how much he met in the treasury, because we want to make sure that nobody don't come and say we lie or we misrepresenting. I did not hear him call a figure. Yes. I heard him say that the treasury was looking nice. The treasury, the treasury was good.
Okay, $600 something million.
He did say that.
Alleged.
No, I just want to be. I don't want you calling figures, unless we know for a fact that he said it, where he said it, and so on. We want to keep a certain standard, so we're not calling no figures and no six. I didn't hear it. I didn't hear that anyway. I listened to him a lot, but I didn't hear that anyway. If you know it was said, you heard it, and you know it to tell me, fine it, no problem.
Okay, it was even said, but that was thing all over.
Yeah.
Right? People saying so it's alleged. He said he found a lot of money in the treasury.
But that is clear. He did fine.
Right? So then that means that the government was properly managing the country. And from the 5 years this NMP government, they always in a plus. But when from 2008 to 2013, the economy was always on the back foot, always reversing. Right? And because of good leadership, and I have a government that was united, and they know how to solve problems. So that the benefit of the government before, that is what they're riding on.
Okay. Thank you so very much. 4407377. That's 4407377 and 347-329-3101. Now, as I said, there's some people that are trying to misrepresent, and there are some people that are trying to create a new history. Because I'm seeing a post by an individual here speaking about claiming that it is the NDC that started the social partners. Now, we all know they're saying that the NDC formed the social partners in 2011, somewhere down there. The NDC only had resignations taking place back in that time. They couldn't focus on those social partners. It is when the new National Party came in, winning all the seats, you said you have to give others the opportunity to lend their views on different issues. We have a caller online. Good night. Caller, go right ahead. You're live. Hello? Hello?
I love my NDC. Leave them alone.
Go right ahead, my dear. Don't be afraid to say it. If you love your NDC, go right ahead. No, don't talk low, baby. Talk loud. We want to hear you. We want to hear you. If you love your NDC, we love you too. So we don't mind if you love your NDC. We love NNP, you love your NDC, and we love you still. Hello? Hello? Oh God, she gone. No, she's saying leave she NDC alone. No. We're speaking about the budget here. So if they say they're disposing assets to fulfill the NDC budget, then they need to tell us what assets they're disposing, because it belongs to you, it's yours. It belongs to me, it's mine, it's my children own too. So if they go in and sell it, be it Camahorn Park or Grand Lake, be it Granans Beach or Granitang, they have to tell us. So we don't mind if you want to call and say I love your NDC. We don't have a problem with that, That is not a disrespectful statement. That is a good thing. You're supposed to love your organization if you're in it, the same way we love ours. We have a problem with that. We have a call online. Good night. Hello. Good night.
Hi, good night. Good night, Sheldon. What's up?
Hey, I'm quite fine. You go right ahead. You're
Great.
live.
Nice. So you're talking about disposable assets, okay? Now, how many assets does the government have, and how long they're going to be disposing? And after those assets have been disposed, how much money are going to be collected, and how long it's going to last? So where we actually heading to?
Well, we know what
Backward
happened with
or
the last
forward?
budget. The last budget to dispose of assets to finance. We know what happened with that budget.
But that doesn't sound right. In a sense, people must try to understand and just don't jump to something. We all have to think we have to think independently and try to understand things. Now, if you're going to keep selling what you have, then what happens at the end of the day is only you will be just taxing people. I mean, if I'm wrong, you can correct me, please. Thanks, okay?
No, you're correct.
Yeah, so probably in another 3 years or 4 years, you're going to be paying more taxes. Because if you sell all the assets, where are you going to get the money to take care of your nation? Only getting taxes? I mean, it's a simple equation. I don't know if I'm explaining this thing right.
Yes, you are. Because it's like,
Yeah.
okay, it's like you're running a business, right? And you want to do an addition to your business. So you sell your house.
Yeah.
You sell your house, hoping that the business succeed enough. You sell your house. You ain't just mortgage it, however, you sell your house. You understand? You sell your vehicle. You have a piece of land where you had some agriculture. You sell that too. And the cow that you had down there. You sell it, saying that you need that money to put into the local business that you have. But if you don't manage that business properly, then you lose everything.
Definitely. So where we heading for? I mean, this is just the budget is just it's just a speculation in the sense that you don't have everything. But if you're going to dispose, it's like you go back in time, you sell this to pay people, and they keep. Where you going to get money after 2 years, 3 years? What happens? Where the economy? We go right back down. Yeah. I mean, the people really need to understand those terms. Now, I don't criticizing or bringing on anybody, but when someone speaks like that, we have to be very careful in understanding. It's a very serious comment, and I don't know, but is agriculture aspect of it. I think how much did agriculture get? 54 point something million. Yeah, am I right on that?
I can't remember the exact figure that they had in agriculture. I think it was about 54.
54.3 or something.
Yeah, 54.3 or somebody there. Yeah, it was up from
but
40-something million to 50-something million.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but our wage bill, we import everything. We don't export nothing. So, I mean, everybody talking agriculture, but where it is.
But caller, let me just say something here. Grenada is not in a unique position in this because there are a lot of people that want to give you the impression that Grenada is the only country in the Caribbean that importing all these things. Even Trinidad, with all their agriculture and manufacturing and all this thing, they still import a lot of stuff. Yeah? All the other Eastern Caribbean territories import stuff, right? Because especially with Grenada, our land mass is not sufficient to get into large-scale production of certain items. Yes, we could nutmegs and them kind of thing and spices and so, yeah. But certain things like if you're going into, let's say, tomatoes, to have enough tomatoes in Grenada to supply a factory to create ketchup on a daily basis. Do you think we have enough land to provide that amount of tomatoes?
Well, I'm not even going to factories, my brother. I'm just saying to feed our own people. That is where I started first. We must be capable of feeding our own people to a certain limit, and then we go afterwards. Because right now when you go, you're hardly selling lettuce, you're hardly selling cucumbers and tomatoes, all this stuff. At least try to encourage the people to grow in a way that you could feed your own people, and then we could talk for others. You understand?
Yes,
We're
indeed.
not seeing this. We have to drive the farmers to a certain standard. Yeah? It's a serious concern. So if you talk agriculture, we don't support agriculture. It's just a waste of time.
Before you run off, let's just get this point clear as well. Now, you're saying that agriculture is important and you need to do all this thing for agriculture and all of that, right? Now, you've zero rated various types of lubricants, different oils and so on. You've zero rated those items. I'm very glad with the zero rating of sanitary napkins. I think that is something that women do not have a choice in needing to use, so that it is important that something like that is zero rated. So that's a measure that I would praise, right? Adult diapers and that sort of thing, I would praise that, right? Condoms, I'm sort of there with that. But I would have thought that you would have zero rate agricultural inputs, so that if I have to go and buy my shovel and my rake and my hoe and my fork and those kind of things, and I have to buy my seeds and my fertilizer, or if I want to buy a little piece of machinery or so to do some work in either agricultural production or agricultural agri-manufacturing, that would be zero rated. That's not under the zero rated list. So it shows a lack of connectivity and intellectual dishonesty by those people that are going forward and saying they care so much about agriculture. Intellectual dishonesty.
Even the seeds.
Yeah.
Yeah?
The inputs.
Yeah. Now you start to understand the part which I was making here. That we need to empower the farmers. As long as you don't do that, we could talk as much as you want. But as long as you don't put the boots on the ground, you will not going to go anywhere, my friend.
Mm-hmm. All right, my brother.
Have a blessed night.
Thank you.
Nice. Good.
Yeah, and we're going to play the theme song for Thursday before we end the program tonight. We have a theme song for Thursday. We're going to play that song before we end the program. So whether it's a call, wherever we're on, at about 2 minutes before the end of the program, 2 minutes to 10, we're going to play the theme song for Thursday for when Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell comes to deliver his presentation. All right? Yeah, I have a theme song for that one a day. All right, 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. Those are the numbers for you to call to get on the inside. Yeah, I had the theme song. I ain't playing it yet, but I go play it. You understand? I'll make sure that I play that theme song so that all you go know what's going on. You understand? Yeah, so if you're talking agricultural production and agriculture as being one of the pillars of how you intend to grow the Grenadian economy, I would expect that the same way that you find the opportunity to list and name equipment, storage drives and cameras and computers and editing equipment and so on for the people in the creative industry, who you need to go and make all the memes now on Keith Mitchell and the rest of the people within the NNP, and who you need now to go on Facebook and YouTube and so on and make all these productions to attack the new National Party and to create that Goebbels mindset among the people of Grenada. So you're trying to buy off the media. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to buy off the radio stations. So when a radio station approaches you and they say we need a new transmitter and we need this and that, that's the creative industry too. You can't tell them no. So when the radio station comes to you and then you build that relationship with the radio station, so when you want to put your programs there, you say, look, we want that program there. We want to block out that program there. We want to do this and that. When you have the little content creators, the vloggers and the bloggers, and all these people who have their little Facebook page and they do their little thing, yeah, you're providing them with cameras and that kind of thing, concession free. But while you're focusing on these people, I ain't saying don't give them, give them. I'm glad for them. In fact, I myself might come to you for some concessions just now. We could pick up the studio, ain't it? Yeah, listen, we buying stuff for the studio, we picking up the studio too. We improving with cameras, all kind of thing. Because if they're giving concession and they don't give us, we making sure the nation know and we taking them to court. When we ask, we want the same concession everybody else get. Right. But in the same token, if you're speaking of that, a startup industry that you're looking to start, because you're speaking of people doing movies in Grenada and all that don't come just so. You have to have the connectivity with people in different places. You will get a movie or so, but you have to have the connectivity to get those movies to come in Grenada. It has to be something that you could use Grenada as a backdrop for. Grenada is beautiful. Many people don't know that. Many people do. All right? Nice. But in the same token, where you're looking at that industry to bring all that money here, you also call agriculture one of the pillars. But even though you call it one of the pillars, you put more money into it, but you don't put more encouragement into it. You've even said as one of the new areas that you're focusing on under the Imani program that agriculture is going to be a key area, that you're going to be searching for things like land. Well, let me tell you, the ministry already has land for young farmers, and so you could just talk to them. They could organize, you could get those lands and so on, they could get to the young farmers, right? But they probably didn't know, so you had to tell them. I know. All right? Good. So when these young farmers get a land, then you're going to just give them a loan and say, go and buy these things and so, ain't it? But we're saying they're going to have constant inputs that they're going to need. They might need fertilizer, right? Even things like fuel for farmers has to be looked at. Because it is, when you're using your tractors and you're using your different equipment, they use significant amounts of fuel. So you may even have to look at the concessions in relation to fuel. But when I look at the items that's zero rated, you don't see anything there for the farmers. I hope the farmers representative in the Senate raise the issue. I raise it first. I's farmers representative tonight. I raise it first. I ain't finding enough there for the farmers if you're talking about that as one of the key areas. And I ain't hearing nothing about the nutmeg replanting thing, and that was supposed to be something too. Everybody was supposed to have a nutmeg plant and a spice plant and all kind of thing. I supposed to have a cinnamon tree behind the house right now going up and all kind of thing. Yeah, we supposed to have a stop. All of a sudden we stop here about the spice replanting program and all of that. Yeah? Because again, they come with the nice talk. Then they reach into the position and they realize exactly what the new National Party was saying all along is the truth. And in fact, some of them know even beforehand that what the new National Party has been saying is the truth. They just refuse to acknowledge it. Yeah? So the nice talk, they dress up nice, they walk around and all kind of thing. That is one thing. But getting the work done and the implementation after the presentation of a budget is a totally different kettle of fish. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to end up in a situation just a few months from now having to run back to Parliament to look for funding. Remember how to say it, eh? All right, nice. I like these people under this live cracking me up, you know. I had to take off my mic and laugh at it, seriously. Some of you all under the live on the Facebook especially, all cracking me up tonight, you know.
But it's coming to harvest day, when the oppressed will have their say, when all those who hurt my people will have to pay.
Beavis, we won't talk on that one in Chambers. Just checking you over on the YouTube there. We're going to speak about that one in Chambers, huh? Good night to you, Stephen, out there in England. Yeah. But in the gardens, hide in. Folks, 440-7377. That's 440-7377. We've got a call online. Good night. Hello? Caller, you're live.
Hello, good night.
Hello?
Yeah.
No. We're not taking we're not taking callbacks. One call and that is it. No callbacks. All right, my dear? We're going to leave the line open so someone else can call. We're not going to do it 2 and 3 calls. No, we're not going to do that. All right? Okay, my dear? Hello? Yes, we're not taking callbacks. All right? Yes, ma'am. Hello? It doesn't seem as though she's hearing. But yeah, let's avoid the callbacks, right? We're going to take the one call, but when it comes to the 2 and 3, if you call back and it's on an issue that you're mentioning and you just wanted to clarify or something, yeah, but we're not just going to take the 2 and 3. No, let me avoid that, doing that one, right? Nice. And I find I ain't hearing from Cammy tonight. Like, Cammy, what happened with you in town? You enjoy yourself too much in town today. I see you put on one nice outfit there tonight. Hey. Yes, good night.
Good night, brother Sheldon.
Yes, ma'am. No, we are saying we're not taking callbacks. One call. Yeah, let other people get the opportunity to call as well. One call, all right?
Okay, sweet.
All right, so unless you're clarifying an issue that you had raised before, you added something, no. Other than that, we're not taking callbacks. Okay, my dear?
Yes.
All right, love you. Bye-bye. Nice. Yeah, let me avoid that because it becomes sort of, when you're hearing one person call 5 and 6 times and so, for me, yeah, I find it does be kind of, it'll throw you off a bit. So let's avoid having that particular one. All right? Nice. Cool. 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. And let me say something here. While I understand the tactic, I find it stupid. How could you, in the month of December, right after the payday at the end of November, decide that in the middle of the day, evening time in particular, around 2, 3 o'clock, is when you go in and pave the road in an area like Granance? Tell me how much sense that making. I understand the tactic. A lot of people pass and see you paving the road. Boy, they're paving the road, boy. Road paving. But people were stuck in traffic for as much as half an hour. Now we are all glad because see some creators, I often wonder, and it's not a new thing, I often wonder if it are some guys that just pass around with a special vehicle and they have a jackhammer somewhere in the middle, and when all of us sleeping, they just pass around and just dig some pothole different place. Right? I see they take care of the one around by Blue Danube, the swimming pool that was developing there right now, that was giving good hope some competition. I see they take care of that one. I saw some big ones coming up again right in front, Maitland Supplies and so down in Granance. I saw they took care of those and so. So we're glad. You see, we're different to other programs. We're glad that there is a concerted effort to address the issue of potholes. As much as my suspension is already damaged, we thank you for the work that you're doing, but do it with common sense. Yeah? How could you decide you're going and pave I mean, come on. You had a line of traffic that was there from about Food Fair going all the way back to the Maurice Bishop Highway, you know. And plus, with traffic that was coming out of Mont Rouge from the KFC area and so, going back past them all. It's today and during the day. I mean, what's the matter with Sunday? Pay them people a look at Sunday, so you take $2,000 a month for yourself. You're afraid to give them a couple $100 extra to work on a Sunday? Give them people a Sunday, work on a Saturday, work and pay them the little extra. Because I am sure people would not mind that. Rather than having to sit there in the hot sun with your vehicle idling for half an hour waiting. Because some kudumunu decide the best thing to do is to go in the busiest road in Grenada at one of the busiest times a year and pave the road at that point in time. Now tell me if that's making any kind of logical sense to you. Yes, Antonio, there's a big one by Deco Roundabout. It has some pothole on them right now. You have to kind of keep them in your mind. And as I said, I don't know. And it's difficult, because for any government, it's difficult. When you're going around, you pass an area tonight, and it's okay. And you're passing back the area the next morning, and there's one crater that there. When you're going up to Happy, after you pass the stadium and you're going up there where there's the sort of cliff and so, you're going up towards Happy Hill. Yeah, there's some potholes that I didn't see before that just appear. Some big ones too. So you have to be careful if you're going around that area. Watch out, that'll blow your tire. That'll mash up your suspension. So be careful. All right. So I'm saying if you're fixing these things, I mean, common sense now. And I'm not blaming the people that are doing the fixing. They get an order to go out and do it at that time. So when the big flight come in, on a day that you have big flights coming in, so the road is extra busy. That is when you go send people to go and fix the road. The busiest road in Grenada at the busiest time. You send people to go and pave the road at that. Come on, man. Come on. Have some common sense.
Just like him, but we're not afraid, for will come suddenly.
See that Betty under that light? Betty, you know easier.
So to the evil works.
You and Gil, all you have me. All you two have me real laughing tonight, believe me. Folks, remember to like and share the live. Even after the program has ended, you can still like and share the live. If you are listening on YouTube and you have not yet subscribed, you need to subscribe to the channel. Yeah, you need to subscribe to Talking Points. All right? So you subscribe to Talking Points and you help us by sharing You'll get the little notification. There's the bell icon next to the subscription button. So you click subscribe, so you see subscribed. Next to that, you see a little icon there like a bell. You click on that, and it will ask you if you want all or some of the notifications. You could click all, you're getting all the notifications. It's not like we on all the time, all right? Nice. As I said, we have a tune to play. You know. Let me make sure and line up that tune there because we have a tune to play when is that time. 440-7377. Sorry, I missed that one. 440-7377 and 347-329-3101.
What's this voice I hear of people in despair, wanting me to sing about their suffering? People struggling, a struggler like me. And those who need to hear, how much do they care when they driving past those windows tinted glass? They look out, but they refuse to see. I continue to be indebted. Your desire, my command. But can a government be impacted by a mere Calypsonian? They want their Calypso king to be a liberator. Oh yeah, oh.
Yes, indeed, Gil. That's what's happening. They're doing those particular things at that time. So people enter in the country when the big flights reach. They say, whoa, work taking place in the country. You don't see my government at work. Look, they're fixing the road. And all the people who getting stuck in the traffic now. I saw some traffic there that was heading from around by the cemetery there. Going nearly back past Silver Sands, past Golf Course Junction, all kind of thing was taking place today. That's absolute nonsense. That's absolute. Either you could do the work in the night. There's a possibility of you doing night cruise and that sort of thing. And let the people rest in the day and you do it in the night. Or you do the side roads in the daytime when it's busy and so on. But your main thoroughfare, you just lock it down. That's absolute nonsense, man. Come on. And you don't have to be a engineer to know that. Come on. That's just common sense. Betty, and not me and you and Gil under that and that.
Voice of the people is the voice of God. Why is the silence of the church so loud? And all the pillars of society.
Let me say a special good night to the men and women of the Royal Grenada Police Force. I know that you all are listening. I do interact with you all. I see you all. You all give me your love. You also tell me what is going on. Yeah, nice. Yeah, they know. Everybody tell them what's going on now. Yeah.
I have never been one to stand up and speak against wrong. Expose myself to political victimization.
So as I said, budget 2023, how is it been? Yeah, it's nice to say you're doing all these things, but how is it going to be funded? And then we saw the drastic reduction in things like the youth program and so on. You wonder, well, if you reduce the amount of money, then you must be reducing the amount of people because the majority of the money is stipend. And then we already hearing the stories of people being told, take what leave you have because you mightn't have a job soon. That is what some people being told by certain activists and that kind of thing. Not even full-fledged people within the ministry. And then next thing you know, you're getting, take your leave. Right? And these are people that have their families to see about. These are people that have their children and so on in school. They have their little accounts, different places that they have to settle and that sort of thing. And then they are being dismissed. And then, remember, you already have the 300 plus who was under faith that's still waiting. As of today, the 6th day of December, still waiting for their money. And then they're trying to give the impression that no, is faith program that no, the government owe faith and faith owe the people. So the government have to pay faith to pay the people. But they try to give the impression that something wrong was taking place with faith. When if you do the calculations, any kunumunu who do the calculations could know that this is the amount of money that organization should have been receiving all along, because they was doing an excellent job. In fact, the same people who were doing the job in different instances were taken back by the schools and so to continue doing the job. So instead of working through faith, the people, some of them got back a job working directly with the school and so. So it's not like they were not doing a good job. If they were not doing a good job, they would not have been taken back again to continue doing the job that they were doing. All right? So you have that situation, and then you have the finance minister, prime minister doing like, well, they could sue me, they could take me to court. I mean, people, they make sure and set up themselves. So they have the $24,000 additional. They have that in the bank. That $24,000 could go to pay for the new vehicle they're about to bring. You're going to see it. Don't say I say, go see them on the road. Right? That $24,000 a year, that will go directly to pay for the vehicle. That will go to the bank. Right? But meanwhile, the people who already work under faith, who have their local $800 to collect, you refuse to pay them. Refuse bluntly. They ain't paying them. And then trying to blame other people. That's the kind of mindset. Because it's poor people, they just feel they could do them as they want. You understand? The people could be supporting whatever political party. Because here is what? Many are their supporters passing that as well. They are waiting on their money too.
All right. Give me melody and words and
Then you see them talking and announcing, well, okay, we're going to have housing project in Stony Gut, like if there's something that they came up with. That's not all you come up with. Because you have an incompetent MP in St. John right now. I ain't afraid to say that. Incompetent. Go and call me thief in place again. I don't care. Incompetent MP. How you could go to Egypt and come back here and can't even face the press to tell them what you bring back. Multi-million dollars. How much millions of dollars are available in climate change? The person in charge of all the money is a Grenadian. And you're telling me you come back with your hand empty? You come back with your hand swinging? The only thing you have to show us is a picture when you're eating big lunch? That's the only thing you have to show us? Up to this day, they can call incompetence. And who vex their faces, they own. The truth is the truth. Incompetence at the highest level. Didn't go with an incompetent team, you know. But if the leader is incompetent, that's all I have to say on that one.
a young man who does wrong may find redemption, but old men devoid of wisdom.
I know that's not a personal attack. That's just speaking facts, eh?
Money, it's a shame. Blame not the young leader, blame his advisors, those who steer the road. The blame is just they take people's survival for a game. And if their works be found in the evil domain, then you can count upon King Dice to call them.
ShopRite, I wonder if that comment is to me. Nah, me, you know me afraid that. 4407377, and those of you out there, 347-329-3101. Those are the numbers for you to call and get onto the inside.
But left to me alone.
Folks, remember, thanks for the reminder again. Remember, on Thursday, we're all who can make it heading, and at least to the Trade Center, you know. Yeah, but we have a Parliament building. The people who just say we ain't do nothing, sit down in the Parliament building that we built. Yeah, the same people that say we ain't do nothing and them kind of thing, you understand? Sit down in the Parliament building that the NNP built. Yeah. So we're heading to the Parliament building, Mount Welldale, right? For the presentation by Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell. And you see, the thing is this, it's so nonsensical and idiotic to be telling people don't listen to Dr. Mitchell. We're afraid. If he's so bad and he doesn't make sense, then it should be encouraging people to listen to him. Expose him. Because you must know that people have common sense and they have sense. That they're intelligent, so that when they listen, they would know that he ain't talking sense. If that is the case, isn't it? So why they afraid now? They're trying to encourage people not to listen to Dr. Mitchell. Some of them never listen to a budget in their life. They listen to this budget. And I hear some of them calling the radio in the morning and think, oh, the budget was so nice and the budget was so this. Ask them how much money is total for the budget. They can't tell you. Ask them to name the key thematic areas of the budget. In other words, the areas that this government has decided that they're going to focus on, they can't tell you. Ask them how much was allocated under any specific area. Don't even give them an area. Tell them, name how much was allocated under any area. They can't give you. The only thing they could tell you, he give the nurses $500 and he put a VAT on sugar. That's the only two things they could tell you. Ask them any other thing about any other aspect of the budget, they can't answer you. Yeah? They can't answer you in relation to those things. Ask them which items are now zero rated. Ask them what is the situation with water. That now you're paying an environmental levy as of next year on water. So it means that the price of water is going to increase for you. You're going to have to pay more for water. That they have reinstituted certain things and turned around certain things with electricity. And as I say, this government, they're giving it with one hand, but they're taking it back with the next one. But you're going to see the proof of the pudding in how your electricity bill looks over the next 6 months or so. Remember, they're trying to get you vexed with Grenlec because they have their intention with Grenlec and other things too. They have their intention with those. So you have to be careful. Yeah? You have to be careful. You have to listen. But you also have to read. Read between the lines. Because again, it is not always what is said. A lot of the times, it's what is not said. Yeah? What is implied.
You should love thy neighbor as thyself, I say, and put an end to violence today. Help your fallen brother by.
No, Marilyn, I'm seeing your statement. And the thing is this, when it comes to climate change and the fact that we have Mr. Steele in charge there, many of the people, with the exclusion of her boyfriend, many of the people that went to Egypt, not the boyfriend, that went to Egypt know what they're about. Even the Senate President, Mrs. Decima Williams, who went, very, very, very au fait when it comes to the issues around climate change and so on, could make proper representation on behalf of Grenada. And there were other people that went that are very au fait. I think Dr. Linus Spencer Thomas, I think I saw Mr. What's his name? I think his name is on one of these documents here. He was the one that did, oh boy, yeah, Leon Charles. And so these are people that are very au fait with what they're going by. But if the directives that they're receiving and so on and the leadership is not strong, then you won't be able to achieve what you can achieve. And then remember, you're going to the person who held the position of Minister of Climate, Resilience and so before. So he knows what he left there. He knows the plans that were in progress and so on and the strategies that were there. And if you're continuing with those or not. So when you approach him, and they say we want a $40 million for this or $50 million for that, he knows what you're talking about. So you can't tell me you come back in Grenada and you can't even tell us up to now that I went to a meeting and so on, and no matter what people say, this is what I bring back from the meeting. Nah, you can't do that.
Children, come gather round. Oh, my children, I beg you, hold on in hand.
So I'm looking forward to the presentations on Thursday, starting with Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell. And remember, he have 3 hours plus to talk. 3 hours plus. They can't cut the time and say you only have 45 minutes. 3 hours plus he has to talk. So he is going to be doing a proper analysis of the 2023 budget. And you will be hearing some comparing and some contrasting. You will be hearing about those who have attempted to imbibe you with intellectual dishonesty. And those who just downright don't know what they're talking about. Yeah? You're going to be hearing all of that. All right? So Grenada's own Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell will be doing his presentation at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. on Thursday. So remember, we're going to be bringing it on all the New National Party platforms, you know, the various constituency pages and so. The NNP Facebook page, you're going to be seeing it there, Talking Points page. You'll be hearing it on stations like Real FM, CRFM, We FM. I believe GBN will also be broadcasting it and so. So you'll be hearing it all over the GIS channel. So you'll be hearing the presentation by Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Claudius Mitchell. in relation to the 2023 budget. Very important. I don't want to go and raise any new points because we're into the final few minutes right now. So I'm just giving an opportunity for anybody that wants to call in right now. Even if they want to say they love the what they say, they love the NDC. Yeah, you could call and say you love your NDC. We don't mind.
Burning deep within my soul, and this feeling I just can't control. I don't know if it's real, but I want to tell the world how I feel. You should love thy neighbor as thyself, I say, and put an end to violence.
So as I said earlier here, the Dominican elections, they've taken place tonight. I think I saw some results a short while ago. Just trying to get it. Yes, so only 2 seats have not gone to the ruling party. So they've increased their seat count by 1. So only the Marigot and Salisbury seats were not won tonight. And those 2 seats are traditionally opposition seats anyway. So it's not, if it's any time they had to win, it would have been this time. So it's not seats that they traditionally win anyway. Those 2 seats, generally, they lose them. All right? So all the other seats have gone the way of the Dominican Labour Party, the DLP, out there in Dominica. Yeah, both of them don't speak French, but both of them in the same. Yeah, Dominica. All right? Nice. You know, we follow politics regionally. Yeah? We could speak on politics regionally. We could pick up the phone and call somebody in one of those countries and bring them on the program and then kind of thing. Yeah, yeah.
This way before this morning, I don't know if it's just a dream. This morning.
So I'm really looking forward to hearing that presentation because I know last night, someone was asking about it a while ago. Last night they were talking about Mr. Winston Garway and this sort of thing. Now, the thing is simply this. When a parliament sitting where the budget is presented is finished, if you have been to a parliament sitting before, you know that traditionally what you have there is the budget statement itself is printed by the government printry and it is distributed so that those who are there who may have picked up on something can immediately take that document. So when the media pushes that microphone in front of your face, right there and then, you could refer to the document and say, well, I agree with this, I don't agree with that, or this is blatantly untrue. All right, so you have a copy of the document. That opportunity was not afforded to the New National Party. You're talking about a presentation that was 3 hours plus long. I don't think I've ever heard a budget speech that long before. I can't remember hearing one that long. 3 hours plus long. A document that is 80 pages long. And then you're expected to come and make comments in relation to it. So why you should go and make comments when you might have to go and take the comments back immediately, right? So I know that the issue was raised by Dr. Mitchell that the document was not passed around. And I have been, as I said, I have been in budget sittings and I've been to budget sittings. I've been there as a member of the media. I've been there as a senator. I've been there just as a visitor in the gallery. So I've been there in various capacities at budget sittings. And every year, and I'm speaking here from memory from back in the 1990s to now, every year you get the budget document. Now, if this was being discontinued, the proper thing to do, common courtesy would have said that you tell the opposition that you're not doing the document. You announce that you're not doing the document, you're not printing. All right? Well, folks, that's all the time we have. For no caller, we can't take you. It's 10 o'clock now. So that's all the time we have for talking points tonight. And as I promised, we had to play the theme song for, we're playing a theme song for on, let me just mute that one. Yeah, we're playing the theme song for on Thursday. All right? Yeah, we're playing the theme song. That's the theme song for Thursday. That's the theme song here. Let me try that one. Nice.
Me and them who are you waiting on? They say they waiting on the youth for the God. Them say to me, why tell them me father?
It's been wonderful being here with you. In everything you say and do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. Love each and every one of you. We come in.
You complain, but we live in the day. Hey, the people cry shame on way. Hey, baby, easy job inside way. Hey, nobody can take this from way. So no one split side or you're leaning on. Split side or you're leaning on. I'm only back on the side, so what you doing? What you thinking? All the thought I done. This is the return. They gon' take what they get. I hope they don't fret. Problem in the fret. Drama inside the people fed. You're making a statement. You won't see we different. All you just have patience. And wait for me. I come in. Boy, tell all of me fans I come in. Boy, problems don't I reach I come in. Hold on. All the local trouble come in. Well, no worries, mash up to the left, 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 we mash it up. To the right, 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 we mash it up. All in distance, upstairs, all in front of me. I don't want them run. This is the return. Well, now the rum in the system. Is a fuck we cause him. Selling you. I giving all you the license. Yes, sir. You got permission to flat. So now I split side or you leaning on.